this video I will show you how I use dynamic equalization. If you are a guitar nerd like me, you might be familiar with different kinds of equalizers and using it in front of an amp or in the effects loop of an amp. It's pretty common, but in most situations people are setting their equalizers fixed. They don't touch it, they leave it, because and they use the same setting for most of their sounds. And a very powerful thing that you can do with the equalizers is let them change dynamically to some trigger. And this is something you can do in the AxeFx by using a modifier. For those of you who are not familiar with modifiers, it's basically some little helper that is tweaking a knob for you when you are playing. And you can connect these helpers and say which should be the source they should react to. For example, you could choose a pedal, and in this case the modifier would react to a pedal that is connected to your AxeFx. You can also choose some generators like these LFOs, and also you can choose the pitch follower. And that is basically something that is, as the name says, it's reacting to the pitch of the note. And what I like to do is, when I'm playing high notes, I want some frequencies, especially in the lower mid-range, to be pushed a little bit more, so that a note will sound a little bit more fat. And as you can see, those two faders, they move up when I'm playing high notes. When I'm playing lower notes, the lower it gets, then they don't move. And that is something which I found to be very powerful, especially in a live situation, because when you're playing, well, usually you cannot change your equalizer, especially not when you're playing a solo, then you might have to concentrate on that. And also this works very, very fast. So you can also imagine if someone would change your equalizer, he has to do it, and you cannot do it like that depending on the note you're playing. So this is a very powerful tool in my opinion, and it works great. And another thing which is also very common is that you want the equalizer to react if some frequency is maybe too loud in some situations. So you don't want to maybe reduce the frequency permanently, like the 200 Hertz. But if you're chugging, maybe it will sound a little bit boomy and you want to reduce those frequencies only when you're chugging. And you can do this with a multiband compressor. This is basically a compressor which is affecting different frequency bands. And as you can see here, I'm setting the mid band to work from 90 Hertz to 300 Hertz. Basically only the frequencies between 90 Hertz and 300 Hertz are affected. And if you are familiar with the frequencies, these are frequencies which cause maybe boominess. For example, if I turn it off, I play a chug, you hear it's very boomy. And if I turn it on, boominess is gone. But if you are playing a chord, I'll turn on, turn it off. Basically the same sound. So as you can see, it's only affecting, it's only working situations where the frequency range is too loud. In this case, when you are chugging. And of course, they're set up like usual equalizers. It's not very difficult. You have to adjust the threshold. It's basically saying when the compression should start, at which point, which level. For example, if I set it a little bit higher. You see it's not working when I'm chugging. If I set it too low, working, but it's also working when I'm not chugging. So you have to find the right threshold that it's only working when you're chugging. And with this guitar, it might be around minus 22 dB. Maybe a little bit higher. Also you have to adjust the ratio. Now my ratio is, as said, not so high, but in a live situation I would raise it a little bit. It's also depending on your environment. Basically saying how much the signal is reduced. And of course the attack should be very fast, because you want the compression immediately to work when it starts, when the chugging starts. And also with the release you can experiment a little bit, but with this approach it's not so critical in my opinion. Okay, so I hope this video helps to understand a little bit of how I'm using dynamic equalizers and multiband compressors. If you have other ideas or other scenarios where you use it, please write a comment in the comment section. Hit the like or subscribe button. Yeah, well, see you soon.